nominate Honorable Tajuddin Abbas.
I so second.
I rise to humbly accept the nomination.
Is hereby declared the winner and returned elected as the Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Other diverse economic consequences, especially for Nigerians and Nigerian workers.
House calls for speedy consideration and implementation of minimum wage.
Nigeria's traditional curriculum for primary and secondary schools faces challenges.
And lawmakers make case for an urgent review of the nation's primary and secondary education curriculum. A warm welcome to House Tickets, a weekly update on the activities and events of your lawmakers at the Green Chamber. I am your regular anchor, Dihelia Mamza. On this package, security of the nation and how it can be enhanced through legislations is topping our lineup of stories as we take reports of motions moved in that regard. These, alongside motions from the other paper, as well as bills in their various stages of legislations considered by the House, make up this episode of the program. Let us take a break here and return with the full package of the program. Please stay with us.
The House will pay priority attention to participatory budgeting process and delivery, law reform, electoral reform, women's participation and inclusion in governance, among others.
Thanks for staying tuned. Let us begin the first segment with matters of urgent national importance, motions from the other paper, as well as petitions that were presented by lawmakers. The stories are compiled and presented from our studio.
O God of all creation, grant these our one request.
On Wednesday, 5th June 2024, Representative Sada Soli moved a motion on the urgent need to employ more skilled mechanism to address banditry in the states of northwest Nigeria.
Incessant banditry attacks on communities in northwest and other parts of the country will significantly impact food production and agricultural activities, jeopardizing food security and livelihoods of the people in affected states of the region in the coming rainy season. Worried that concerns have been raised regarding the effectiveness and long-term implications of negotiating with bandits, including potential legitimization of criminal activities and incentivizing further attacks of terrorism.
In his prayers, he called for security forces to ensure the safety of these residents and those in other parts of the country, as insecurity is one of the chief causes of food insecurity, causing the rise in food costs. He also called on President Bola Tinubu to ensure the restructuring of the mechanisms of the security agencies to ensure better synergy and cooperation for better results to the pressing issue. The motion was voted on, adopted as amended, and referred to the relevant committees of the House.
We and men are slaughtered, men who are waging war against those who want to wage war against us.
Still on insecurity-related motions, Representative Maki Yeliman moved a motion on the need to halt the incessant killings of military personnel on peace missions nationwide.
This form of attack and killing of military personnel by gunmen in the southeast and other parts of Nigeria has a potential of depending the morale of our armed forces, endangering the lives and property of Nigerians and affecting the war of insurgents, which has no far recorded and success. Worry that it could also lead to retaliation attack by the military and cause huge collateral damage on the people.
Representative Maki made a call that security agencies should investigate the killings of these personnel and that the House Committee on Defense should interface with the armed forces to bring a lasting solution to the menace. Several lawmakers contributed.
Our armed forces are our most prized assets, who sacrifice day and night to keep Nigeria one, to keep Nigeria safe, are randomly killed by non-state actors. Mr. Speaker, it is indeed extremely sad. These killings are very provocative to the armed forces.
Men who are waging war against those who want to wage war against us, and we turn around to wage war against them. It's a sacrilege.
The institution responsible for the protections of life and properties of the citizens of this country are being demoralized by being killed on a daily basis, not only in the east, west, or anywhere, in the entire Nigeria. On daily basis, Mr. Speaker.
I support wholeheartedly the motion, the prayers and recommendation therein, and I hope the House and by extension the National Assembly, including Mr. President himself, to take decisive actions as moved in the prayer and by the mover of the motion.
The motion was voted on, adopted, and referred to the House Committee on Defense.
There is 1 minute silence. Rest in perfect peace. Question. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Still on the same day, Representative Ali Issa Jesse, the minority whip, also moved a motion on the urgent need to consider the implementation of the minimum wage for Nigerians to alleviate the current economic hardships.
The global economic outlook, as well as recent socio-economic policies of government, have resulted in inflation, increase in electricity tariff, currency devaluations, and other diverse economic consequences, especially for Nigerians and Nigerian workers. Equally, cognizant that the government has been locked in negotiation with labor unions toward the upward review of the minimum wage for some time without any agreement, leading to a recent interruption in the negotiations.
Representative Ali Issa called on the government to reduce the electricity tariff as well as look into other pressing economic issues to reduce the sufferings of Nigerians. He further commended the leadership of the National Assembly for being in the forefront of negotiations with the labor unions to try and avoid the strike before it happened and to have it called off as soon as possible when it started. He expressed sadness at the hardship, loss of lives, and socio-economic halting of the Nigerian economy due to the strike action. He called for understanding during the negotiations. Several lawmakers gave their contribution to the motion.
For several years, Nigerian workers have been complaining and crying concerning the issue of salary. Who earns 50,000 in this country and you think that a person can truly depend on a salary? Let's not deceive ourselves. It is not possible. How much is house rent? How much is your transport fare to your office and back home? And so we expect a Nigerian worker to earn as low as that and continue to serve this country. Let us stop playing the ostrich.
I know everybody here understands what living wage means. There is a difference between minimum wage and living wage. What the Nigerian worker deserves is a living wage. And I believe the federal government will see into it and make sure that a Nigerian worker is given a living wage in a situation where he will be free to do his job, and when that person is then caught doing corruption, he can be properly and adequately punished.
Nigerians today are crying hunger everywhere based on a simple statement of subsidy removal that has made the entire economy into serious confusion. Therefore,
I've not seen an economy as a finance expert where depression and inflation go in opposite direction. By the time they jam themselves, we cannot manage what will come to this country.
As a person, you are entitled to one wife, 4 children, and then your mother and father. These are the things that you are entitled to take care. Even in the tax relief or whatever, these are the indices and the factors given to us. And so by implication, you are supposed to have that minimum wage that will cater for this number of persons. And I want to say that, yes, government have tried in the past, government is trying now, but then we have to do a lot in order to cover the trenches.
Shutting down the national grid is killing the same people we are protecting. The primary job that we have is to protect lives and property. You cannot go under industrial action and kill people legally. Because shutting down the national grid, that was just one too many. I'm sure a lot of people died in the past few days of shutting down the national grid. We have to criminalize that.
The major thing is, they should know whether government want to pay or not, but how much are they paying? How much are they paying? I don't know whether we can propose that government should pay about 250,000 as a minimum wage.
The motion was voted on, adopted and referred to the House Committee on Labour and Employment. Several motions on the order paper were also voted and adopted, one of which was moved by Representative Bamidele Salam on review of the Nigerian curriculum for primary and secondary schools in line with current global market needs and contemporary realities.
Nigeria's traditional curriculum for primary and secondary schools faces challenges compared to advanced nations. While it equips students with knowledge, it prioritizes rote learning over practical skills like critical thinking and problem solving, which are very crucial in current labor markets. The curriculum might have a stronger focus on national subjects, potentially limiting exposure to global perspectives necessary to navigate the intercontinental world.
The resolutions were to urge the Federal Ministry of Education, in conjunction with state ministries of education, to conduct a comprehensive review of the curriculum across primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions, align the curriculum with evolving global market demands, emphasizing skills like critical thinking, problem solving, digital literacy, and adaptability, integrate practical applications, promote critical thinking and innovation, and enhance digital literacy, nurture essential soft skills like communications, teamwork, and interpersonal skills, address resource disparities and ensure equitable access to qualified teachers, updated learning materials, and proper infrastructure, incorporate a global perspective, broadening the curriculum to encompass international issues and fostering global citizenship, and mandate the committees on basic education and services and university education to ensure compliance. The motion was voted on, adopted as amended, and referred to the House Committee on Basic Education and Services, as well as that on University Education. Representative Alhassan Osman Rurum, on the same day, moved a motion calling for the establishment of correctional centers, armed security guards, and correctional data security across the country.
The incessant attack on custodial facilities of Nigerian Correctional Service and the frequent escape of inmates convicted and awaiting trial have become a very dangerous trend of the portent grave danger to society and has become an embarrassment to the country's security architecture. The House also notes that the recent rainstorm incident in Niger State, which resulted in the escape of 118 inmates, has again brought attention to the worrisome state of the nation's correctional center security architecture and the looming danger ahead.
The House then resolved to urge the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to immediately set up a judicial panel of inquiry on prison attacks in the country and ensure that such assaults on the entire security apparatus of Nigeria do not occur, and mandate the committees on interior and reformatory institutions to interface with the relevant federal government agencies to constitute threat management in correctional centers across the country and collate data of inmates by enrolling them in the National Identity Number System and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. The motion was voted on, adopted and referred to the House Committee on Interior as well as that on reformatory institutions. Another motion that was voted and adopted was on the need to investigate investment in the renewable energy sector and foreign grants received from 2015 till date. The motion was moved by Representative Jesse Okejo.
In 2020, the federal government launched a 200 million renewable energy project tagged Nigeria Electrification Project, NEP, to provide off-grid energy to over 105 households in rural communities in Nigeria, with facilities secured from the African Development Bank.
The motion, which has one resolution, mandates the Committee on Renewable Energy to investigate MDAs of the government associated with investment, procurement, and receipt of grants meant to develop the renewable energy sector from 2015 till date and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. The motion was referred to the House Committee on Renewable Energy.
The ayes have it.
The House in the last 1 week has received 10 petitions. They include
this urgent petition for intervention on the brutal murder of Joshua Ejojo Daniel Ejigbo on the premises of Veritas University and the attempt to cover up by Veritas University and the Federal Capital Territory Police Command.
The petition against the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, EFCC, for defamation of character, assassination of character, public harassment, intimidation, witch hunting, disregard for the rule of law, and display of administrative recklessness, desecration of a court of competence jurisdiction, and breach of fundamental rights of Mr. Okoyemi Oduson.
I rise this morning to present a petition on behalf of employees of the Maritime Academy of Nigeria, being led by Mr. Ukpai or Professor Ukpai Eni. The petition is that this noble house listens to their issue, which borders on harassment, borders on false accusation, and plots to expel from work.
The petitions were all referred to the House Committee on Public Petitions.
Say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Many thanks for staying tuned to the program House Ticket. We just reviewed some recent activities of the House in our first segment, where we saw the House deliberating on how to enhance security services for the nation, amongst other resolutions. On bills, the House last week debated a bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 to establish and empower the Electoral Offences Commission to provide for the investigation, prosecution and adjudication of electoral offences and for related matters. It was sponsored by Representative Aminu Jamu Daura. In leading the debate, the lawmaker stated that the bill seeks to alter the constitution to ensure free and fair elections in Nigeria and to protect democracy as well as the wish and choices of voters during voting.
Unfortunately, our electoral process has been marred by various responses, including vote buying, ballot snatching, violence and fraud. This malpractice undermines the credibility of our elections and erode public trust in our democratic institutions. Mr. Speaker, as you said, this is straightforward for this bill to allow for Election Offences Commission to take up most of our electoral offences to unburden on the courts and the police.
The bill was voted on, approved and referred to the Committee on the Review of the Constitution for further work.
The ayes have it.
A bill for an act to amend the National Health Insurance Authority Act 2021 to establish National Social Register (NSR) as the primary identification tool for the disbursement of the vulnerable group funds and for related matters, sponsored by Representative Adedayo Samuel Adeshola, also came up for second reading. Representative Adeshola called for the establishment of the National Social Register (NSR) as the primary identification tool for the deployment of the stated funds for the vulnerable group in order to harmonize the channeling of all such funds captured under the different titles.
The bill primarily seeks to amend the National Health Insurance Authority Act 2022 by inserting in Section 28, subsection 3, and renumbered accordingly as set out below. 28.3. The National Social Register (NSR) shall be the primary identification tool for the disbursement of the vulnerable group fund. Mr. Speaker, my honorable members, recall that the National Social Register is a repository of information about potential beneficiaries for multiple social assistance programs that share a common population of interest, but not necessarily same eligibility approach. The National Social Register basically captures the poor and vulnerable household, PVHHS for short, in the country, and those are the groups which the National Health Insurance Authority Act 2022 was meant to protect.
The bill was voted on, approved, and referred to the House Committee on Health Services. Still on bills at second reading, Representative Muhammad Buba Jajiri moved for the second reading of a bill for an act to provide for establishment of the Federal College of Nursing, Midwifery and Health Sciences, Damagum, Fune, Yobe State, and for related matters.
The bill is very important to the people of Yobe State, as the effect of Boko Haram insurgency over the last 13 years has seriously affected the education and training of our nurses, midwives, and other healthcare providers. This bill will help in producing more nurses, midwives, and health officers in Yobe and the neighboring states of Borno, Bauchi, Gombe, Jigawa, the entire Northeast geopolitical zone, and the country at large.
The bill was voted on, approved, and referred to the House Committee on Health Institutions.
Honorable colleagues, the question is that the bill be now read the second time. Those in favor of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Meanwhile, 40 bills were presented for first reading last week. They include Fiscal Responsibility Act Repeal and Enactment Bill 2024, sponsored by Representative Benjamin Okeze Kalu, Compulsory Free Universal Basic Education Act Amendment Bill 2024, sponsored by Representative Kabir Ibrahim Tukura, National Board for Arabic and Islamic Studies Establishment Bill 2024, sponsored by Representative Adewumi Oriyomi Onanuga, Auctioneers Registration Council of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2024, sponsored by Representative Francis Ejirogene Waive, Southeast Erosion Control Commission Establishment Bill 2024, sponsored by Representative Chinedu Martins, and a Senate bill titled Northwest Development Commission Establishment Bill 2024. Hope you've had an enlightening time being updated on recent legislations and business of the House of Representatives. Many thanks for being a part of the program. House Tickets. We'll be back again to bring you more reports on the happenings in the Green Wing of the National Assembly. Until then, do stay safe.